Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Imagine stumbling upon a simple copper-colored piece of metal that you've probably walked past 1,000 times, a 1976 1-cent coin from the United States, and suddenly learning that this unassuming penny, small, worn, and ordinary to anyone who doesn't know its secrets, has a face value in the collector world of an astonishing $180 million, a number so unbelievable that even seasoned numismatists shake their heads in disbelief. And today we are diving deep into the hidden reasons, mysterious errors, nearly impossible minting anomalies, and the historical possibilities that turned this tiny cent into one of the most valuable coins ever discussed in the history of American currency. Because the combination of rarity, accident, demand, and story behind this particular piece has created a buzz so massive online that collectors and treasure hunters obsessively check their spare change hoping to find just one example of this jaw-dropping mistake. The energy surrounding this coin starts with the year itself, 1976, the bicentennial year of the United States, a year of celebration, of commemorative designs, of patriotic enthusiasm, and a time when the U.S. Mint was operating non-stop to create massive volumes of coins to meet the public's desire for memorabilia connected to the nation's 200th birthday. But the curiosity grows when we learn that although the quarter, half dollar, and dollar received official bicentennial reverse designs, the penny did not. Yet something unusual still occurred behind the scenes that produced a microbatch of strange, experimental, improperly handled, or misstruck 1-cent coins that should never have existed. And that is where the heart of the mystery begins. Collectors today believe that the reason a 1976 penny could reach $180 million on the private market revolves around a combination of several abnormalities that should not have been possible under regular minting procedures, beginning with the possibility that some planchets, the blank metal discs used before striking, may have been prepared using an incorrect alloy mixture that created a slightly different density, weight, and color tone, and while normal pennies of that era were made of 95% copper and 5% zinc, these experimental errors may have resulted in planchets with trace levels of tin, nickel, or even a thin, inconsistently bonded outer layer that mimicked the transitional errors famous in other rare coins, causing significant deviations detectable under high-intensity testing. Another major aspect in the coin's incredible valuation is the strong evidence suggesting that several pieces may have been struck with misaligned or even mismatched dies, meaning the obverse die, bearing Lincoln's portrait, may have belonged to a different minting batch, year, or setup, while the reverse die, showing the Lincoln Memorial, may have been paired incorrectly due to human error or mechanical failure, creating rare mismatched combinations that should not exist in any official mint records. And such die pair anomalies automatically push a coin into the category of extreme rarity because collectors know they were accidental, short-lived, and corrected almost immediately. Further adding to the intrigue is the possibility that these coins exhibit double die features, subtle duplications caused by misalignment during hubbing, which might appear on the date, on the word liberty, on the motto "In God We Trust," or on the delicate architectural lines of the Lincoln Memorial, and any one of these double die effects can skyrocket a coin's value into tens of thousands of dollars. But when combined with other mistakes, the value compounds dramatically, making this coin a perfect storm of collectible desirability. In addition, some privately examined specimens reportedly show evidence of off-center striking, where the design is shifted by varying degrees, creating crescent-shaped blank areas that reveal how the blank slipped in the press before being struck. And this kind of mistake, especially when paired with a mismatched die or a wrong planchet scenario, elevates the coin far beyond ordinary mint errors. Even more shocking are rumors that a few 1976 pennies were accidentally struck on foreign planchets, metal blanks used for coins intended for other countries but processed within U.S. mint facilities during the 1970s, meaning the resulting coin would have a completely different weight, thickness, or metallic composition while still displaying the American design. And this kind of hybrid mistake is among the most sought after in the world of numismatics because foreign planchet errors are already rare, and a bicentennial year example makes it exponentially more desirable. Another factor that contributes to the colossal value is the potential existence of what collectors call a pattern coin, a type of test strike, intended only for internal experimentation or machine calibration, never meant for public circulation, and these pattern pieces are often destroyed by the mint to prevent confusion with official releases, but on rare occasions a few examples escape into circulation by accident, creating instant legends, And if the 1976 1-cent coin in question belongs to this elusive category, then the rarity is so extreme that it becomes nearly priceless, with collectors willing to outbid each other into extraordinary financial territory. The coin's condition also plays an important role, because if a piece survived in near-perfect, uncirculated, or museum-caliber preservation, showing full luster, crisp details, and no visible wear, it would multiply its value far beyond what the average collector expects. And in the high-stakes world of numismatic auctions, a flawless or nearly flawless example of an already rare error can go from thousands to millions in seconds, especially if too wealthy. Collectors enter a bidding war for ownership. Another contributing factor to this coin's staggering hypothetical worth is the electrifying story behind its discovery or rediscovery, because often a narrative of mystery, survival, accident, or miracle attached to a coin dramatically increases its cultural appeal, fueling viral interest and raising the perceived value as more people become swept up in the excitement. Imagine a coin that survived decades in hiding, passed unknowingly from hand to hand, concealed in jars, stuck in vending machines, carried through generations, or discovered by complete accident in a dusty basement or a random pocket. Such a storyline adds emotional weight that translates into collector urgency and skyrocketing demand. Moreover, the digital age amplifies these stories faster than ever, with social platforms spreading rumors, theories, breakdowns, comparison analyses, and speculative evaluations, creating a snowball effect where even ordinary viewers become fascinated and the hype feeds itself until the coin's theoretical value becomes mythical. The idea of a 1976 penny being worth $180 million taps into the universal dream of unexpected fortune, of hidden wealth disguised in plain sight, of the possibility that anyone holding a small copper coin might unknowingly possess the rarest treasure in circulation. And this dreamlike scenario fuels the coin's legendary status, transforming a simple collectible into a symbol of hope and possibility. As collectors continue to theorize about the coin's composition errors, die anomalies, off-center strikes, doubled features, foreign planchet possibilities, and pattern origins, the fascination only grows. And as long as there exists even the slightest possibility that such an extreme combination of mistakes could have occurred, the myth will keep expanding, driving more people to inspect their coins carefully under magnification, examine every detail with flashlights and smartphone lenses, weigh them on small digital scales, and research every known error chart available online. This unending curiosity is why discussions about this coin go viral, why videos about it hit millions of views, and why the story refuses to fade from public imagination. Ultimately, the idea that a small, common penny from the year 1976 could reach a value as astronomical as $180 million serves as a reminder that in the world of collecting, value is not just about metal composition or mintage totals, but about story, rarity, mystery, emotion, and the unstoppable force of human fascination. And if you enjoy deep dives into unbelievable coin stories, extreme numismatic mysteries, and real-world treasures hiding in everyday life, make sure to like the video and subscribe for more. Next, 1998 D1-cent USA coin. Imagine hearing a story so unbelievable that it instantly grabs your attention. A story about a tiny piece of copper-plated zinc that most people would drop into a jar without a second thought. A 1998 D1-cent coin from the United States that has taken the numismatic world by storm because collectors believe a single specimen, containing a baffling combination of minting mistakes, unexplained anomalies, transitional errors, and historical oddities, has reached a jaw-dropping valuation of $181 million, making it one of the most talked about, myth-fueled, and obsessively researched coins in modern history. And today we dive deep into the incredible reasons behind this valuation, exploring the errors, possibilities, and mysteries that have created viral excitement online and pushed the coin into the realm of near-legendary status. It all begins with the year 1998, a period when the U.S. Mint was transitioning equipment, experimenting quietly with upgraded designs, and dealing with increased production requirements. And during this period of high-volume minting at the Denver Mint, the facility marked by the D Mint mark, there were reports of die deterioration, machine misalignments, and metal inconsistencies that occasionally resulted in rare but extremely valuable errors slipping through the system unnoticed. And the 1998 D penny at the center of today's fascination is believed to be the perfect example of such a once-in-a-generation mistake. Collectors examining alleged specimens report that the most shocking feature lies in a possible double die obverse, where the inscription "In God We Trust," the word liberty, and even the last two digits of the date show signs of doubling, a shadow-like repetition created when the die receives misaligned impressions during hubbing, and double die errors, especially extremely clear ones, are among the most sought-after mistakes in coin collecting, with famous examples like the 1955 double die Lincoln cent fetching staggering prices. So when a double die appears on a near-modern coin like the 1998 D penny, collectors immediately pay attention. But this coin story becomes even more extraordinary when we factor in the possibility of a wrong Planchet strike, meaning the coin may have been struck on a blank intended for a foreign denomination or a transitional experiment. And because 1998 occurred just before the mint's major composition updates in 1999 and 2000, theorists believe some experimental planchets could have been circulating within the machinery, resulting in coins with incorrect weight, thickness, or metallic resonance, and a wrong Planchet penny, especially one that slipped through official screening, is automatically worth tens of thousands of dollars even without additional errors, but paired with doubling or die anomalies, its value skyrockets dramatically. Further deepening the mystery is the rumor that the reverse die used to strike the Lincoln Memorial design may have been misaligned or mismatched, creating distortions in the columns, roof edges, and the tiny statue of Lincoln visible between the pillars. And mismatched die pairs are exceptionally rare because they occur when mint workers accidentally pair dies from different stages of wear, batch assignments, or experimental cycles, resulting in coins with subtle inconsistencies that leave experts puzzled and intrigued. Collectors also speculate that this legendary 1998 D-cent shows evidence of an off-center strike, possibly between 5 and 20%, creating a crescent-shaped blank area along one rim where the die failed to center the planchet properly, and off-center coins already command high values depending on the degree of the shift and the visibility of the date and mint mark. So an off-center 1998 D penny with doubling and planchet irregularities would be beyond extraordinary. Additional reports claim that the coin contains an unusual die crack running across Lincoln's portrait or extending along the upper rim near "In God We Trust," forming what collectors call a retained cud, a raised, distorted area caused when a portion of the die breaks yet remains partially connected, creating dramatic raised metal on the struck coin, and retained cud errors are among the most visually striking mistakes, instantly raising a coin's rarity and value. Another fascinating theory suggests that a microbatch of pattern or prototype strikes may have occurred during this period as the mint experimented with die preparation for the upcoming 2000s. And if even one of these internal test pieces accidentally entered circulation, its value would exceed nearly any modern coin ever recorded because pattern coins are not meant for public release and are usually destroyed, making surviving examples extraordinarily rare. What amplifies the coin's mystique even further is the possibility that the Denver Mint, during a brief equipment malfunction, produced a batch of coins with mishubbed reverse dies that received incomplete or partially overlapping impressions from the master hub, resulting in faint doubling, blurred lines, or ghost-like distortions in the Lincoln Memorial's pillars. And such hub doubling errors, though subtle, are extremely significant to advanced collectors who value both rarity and technical uniqueness. Beyond the physical errors, the coin's unreal valuation is driven heavily by emotional and cultural factors, because the idea that an ordinary penny minted in a year within recent memory, 1998 is a year many people vividly remember, could secretly be worth $181 million fuels a powerful sense of excitement, nostalgia, and hope, creating viral momentum across social media as people rush to check their spare change, old jars, junk drawers, glove compartments, and childhood collections, imagining the possibility that they too could stumble upon a life-changing fortune hiding in plain sight. And as the story circulates online, collectors, influencers, and casual viewers all contribute to the hype, analyzing microscopic details, comparing varieties, speculating about missing mint records, and sharing theories that combine numismatics with mystery, creating an atmosphere where even the wildest possibilities feel thrillingly plausible. Additionally, the coin's supposed extraordinary condition, possibly graded near perfection, with full mint luster, razor-sharp strike details, flawless fields, and pristine surfaces untouched by circulation wear, could elevate its value exponentially because condition amplifies rarity, and a rare error in perfect or near-perfect state becomes almost mythical. Some experts believe the coin displays a proof-like shine even though it was struck for circulation at the Denver Mint, an anomaly that occurs only when dies are polished beyond normal standards before early strikes, and proof-like business strike coins often command incredible prices due to their mirror finish and extraordinary clarity. Compounding the intrigue is the fact that the 1990s were a turbulent time for coin production, with shifts in quality control, staffing, machine calibration, and technology upgrades, meaning unexpected anomalies were more likely to occur, and this historical context gives numismatists plenty of reasons to believe that an extraordinary error from 1998 is entirely plausible. Another compelling theory is that certain 1998 pennies may have been part of an internal mint audit or machinery test run in which sample strikes were produced, recorded, and then accidentally released rather than recycled, and if a test run piece reached the public, its certificate-level rarity would make it essentially priceless to advanced collectors. The coin's astronomical valuation, $181 million, also stems from the fact that some private collectors with substantial wealth pay staggering sums for unique, one-of-a-kind pieces that complete their personal collections, and when two billionaires, museums, or competing top-tier collectors want the same coin, the resulting bidding wars can push prices to unimaginable heights, turning an already rare coin into a cultural phenomenon. The 1998 1-cent coin, therefore, sits at the intersection of physical rarity, theoretical possibility, emotional fascination, viral storytelling, and financial competition, making it the perfect subject for a top, trending and highly viral narrative that captivates millions of viewers who love the idea of modern treasures hiding in everyday pockets. The legend of this coin continues to grow as new theories emerge, speculating on everything from micro-engraving anomalies to unrecorded die trials to ultra-rare Planchet mixtures containing unexpected trace elements that alter the coin's metallic signature, and each new possibility adds to the mystique, keeping the conversation alive and inspiring. Thousands more to start checking their pennies with fresh curiosity. The wild appeal of the story lies in the universal fantasy that wealth might come from the most unexpected place, that the most ordinary object, a penny, could turn out to be an artifact of historical accident, minting chaos, or technical experimentation that transforms it into a once-in-a-century collectible. As long as this dream continues to capture people's imaginations, the 1998 penny will remain a viral sensation and a symbol of hope for casual hobbyists and serious numismatists alike. And if you enjoy deep dives into rare coins, unbelievable valuation stories, and the hidden secrets of everyday money, make sure to like the video and subscribe for more. Next, 2005 1-cent USA coin. Everyone to this exciting deep dive where we explore one of the most astonishing discoveries in modern coin collecting. A story that has electrified numismatists, treasure hunters, casual hobbyists, and everyday viewers alike, because today we are discussing the unbelievable case of the 2005 1-cent coin that some collectors claim has reached a staggering value of $182 million due to an extraordinary combination of minting errors, production anomalies, and mysterious circumstances that elevate it far beyond the realm of ordinary pocket change. And as we break down the possibilities that could make a simple penny worth more than some of the world's most valuable historical artifacts, you will understand why this piece has become a legendary topic among those who study rare currency and why enthusiasts continue to search their jars, drawers, boxes, and collections hoping to find even a faintly similar example. The story begins with the year 2005, a period in which the United States Mint was operating with immense speed and high production volume, using modernized equipment that still occasionally experienced calibration issues, metal inconsistencies, and die preparation errors. And although pennies from the early 2000s are not generally considered rare, the 2005 1-cent coin in question has captivated collectors because the combination of its mistakes is so unusual that experts believe only a single specimen, or perhaps a microbatch of experimental test strikes, may have survived, and this rarity alone significantly contributes to its astronomical valuation. One of the most discussed features is the possibility of a dramatic double die obverse, where the inscriptions "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 2005 appear to show clear doubling caused during the multi-step hubbing process when the die received impressions that were not perfectly aligned, and double die coins are historically among the most coveted errors because they occur during die creation, not during striking, meaning every coin produced from that die carries the same mistake. But if only a small handful were struck before the error was detected and corrected, the surviving examples become priceless. Additionally, rumors surrounding this coin suggest that it may have been struck on a transitional planchet, which is a blank metal disc intended for a different year or composition cycle. And although the official composition for pennies from 1982 onward is copper-plated zinc, some collectors believe that a few experimental planchets containing unique alloy mixtures or slightly thicker copper layers circulated in the mint's equipment during the early 2000s, creating coins with unusual weights or metallic densities. And when a wrong planchet strike occurs, even without additional errors, the coin automatically becomes a rare and valuable specimen. Beyond these possibilities, experts also speculate that the reverse die used to strike the Lincoln Memorial design may have been mismatched, meaning the obverse and reverse dies belong to different production cycles or different levels of wear, creating subtle inconsistencies in design sharpness, relief depth, and alignment. And mismatched die errors are exceedingly rare because mint workers typically inspect dies before assembling them into striking presses. But during high-speed production periods, mistakes sometimes slip through unnoticed. Adding to the intrigue are reports that the coin shows evidence of off-center striking, perhaps between 10 and 25%, resulting in a distorted rim and a crescent-shaped blank area where the planchet was not properly centered between the dies, and off-center coins are already valuable. But when combined with doubling, transitional planchets, or mismatched dies, their worth increases dramatically. Some collectors also believe the coin bears signs of a broad strike error, where the collar that normally holds the planchet in place during striking fails to engage, allowing the metal to spread outward in a slightly wider, flatter shape, and broad-struck coins often display unusual edge characteristics and a smoother, expanded diameter, making them visually distinctive and highly sought after. Further amplifying the value are claims that the 2005 penny may exhibit die cracks or even a retained cud, which occurs when a portion of the die breaks but remains attached, causing thick, raised metal distortions on the struck coin surface, and these dramatic errors are extremely popular because they offer clear, undeniable evidence of mint damage and mechanical failure. Another extraordinary possibility is that the coin belongs to a category known as pattern strikes, which are experimental test coins produced internally by the mint to evaluate new designs, compositions, or hub impressions, and pattern coins are never meant to enter circulation, meaning any example that escapes the mint becomes instantly valuable due to its forbidden nature, rarity, and historical significance. Some numismatic theorists argue that the 2005 coin may have been part of a small batch of test strikes prepared while the mint was experimenting with alternate compositions for cost-saving purposes, and if a pattern piece from this era slipped into circulation, it would be among the most valuable modern coins ever discovered. The coin's mirror-like, proof-like surfaces also contribute significantly to its supposed value, with collectors claiming that early strikes from freshly polished dies can exhibit unusually reflective fields and razor-sharp details, even on regular business strike coins. And when a coin combines proof-like brilliance with authenticity, rarity, and dramatic errors, it becomes irresistible to high-end collectors who pay massive sums for extraordinary quality. Another major factor adding to the coin's legendary reputation involves the possibility that its minting errors were produced during a brief and undocumented machine malfunction, an event during which dies may have shifted, hub impressions may have overlapped, planchet feeders may have misaligned, and calibration settings may have drifted out of tolerance, creating a perfect storm that resulted in a coin so unique that it stands alone in recorded numismatic history. Beyond the technical anomalies, the coin's sensational valuation is amplified by the emotional and cultural appeal of such discoveries, because the notion that a simple penny minted in 2005, well within living memory and still commonly found in circulation, could be worth $182 million creates a powerful sense of intrigue and possibility, drawing viewers into the fantasy that unimaginable treasure might be hiding in everyday places such as glove compartments, coffee cans, laundry room trays, and forgotten childhood piggy banks. Viral discussions across social media platforms continue to fuel the legend, with collectors, influencers, and enthusiasts debating the coin's legitimacy, comparing microscopic photographs, referencing mint records, analyzing weight data, and exploring obscure error classifications, and the constant online speculation keeps the mystery alive, ensuring that interest in the 2005 penny never fades. A massive portion of the value also emerges from the competitive nature of high-end collecting, where wealthy buyers, private museums, and elite investors often seek. Exclusive ownership of unique artifacts, and when two determined collectors compete for a one-of-a-kind piece, the resulting bidding war can push prices into unimaginable territories, creating historical sales that shock the numismatic world. This coin, therefore, represents a combination of extreme rarity, minting mystery, emotional appeal, cultural fascination, and financial competition, the perfect mixture for a viral sensation that inspires millions to inspect their penny collections with fresh enthusiasm, knowing that even modern coins minted only 2 decades ago can contain secrets capable of changing someone's life. The 2005 penny worth $182 million is not merely a coin but a symbol of possibility, a reminder that extraordinary value sometimes hides in ordinary objects, and that even the smallest, most humble piece of currency can hold a story powerful enough to captivate the world, spark endless debate, and inspire collectors to continue searching for the next great discovery. And if you enjoy learning about rare coins, unbelievable error stories, and hidden treasures that could be sitting in your change right now, be sure to like the video and subscribe for more. Next, 2016 1-cent USA coin. Everyone to this incredible deep dive into one of the most shocking and fascinating stories in modern coin collecting. A story that pulls you in from the very first moment because it challenges everything people assume about modern pennies. And today we explore how an ordinary-looking 2016 1-cent coin has been thrust into numismatic legend due to a mind-bending combination of minting errors, production anomalies, rare possibilities, and unusual circumstances that have led collectors to estimate its value at an astonishing $183 million, a number so huge and unbelievable that it has captivated both experts and casual viewers, inspiring millions of people to inspect their loose change with a new sense of excitement and curiosity as they wonder whether a similar treasure might be hiding unnoticed in their pockets, jars, piggy banks, and drawers. The story of this coin begins with a year most people still vividly remember, 2016, a period when the United States Mint was operating with advanced equipment, high production speeds, and streamlined processes. Yet even with modern precision, unexpected mistakes occasionally slipped through because no system is perfect, and when a rare combination of errors occurs simultaneously, the resulting coin becomes not just collectible but historically important because the odds of such an anomaly appearing again are nearly zero, which is exactly why this particular penny has shocked the entire numismatic community. One of the main reasons behind its astronomical valuation lies in the possibility of a dramatic double die obverse, caused during the mint's multi-step hubbing process when the die receives impressions that are not perfectly aligned, creating duplicate outlines in the inscriptions, "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the date, 2016, and double die errors are among the most famous and financially significant mistakes in coin history because they result from die creation rather than striking, meaning once a die is flawed, every coin it produces carries the same error until the die is replaced. So if only a small number of double strike impressions were made before mint workers noticed the flaw, surviving examples become incredibly valuable. Further contributing to the coin's legendary status is the possibility of a misaligned die strike, where either the obverse or reverse die may have shifted slightly during production, causing the design to appear rotated or positioned incorrectly relative to the rim, and misaligned die errors are already valuable individually. But when paired with something as major as a double die, the value multiplies exponentially. Collectors also speculate that the 2016 penny at the center of this story may have been struck on a transitional or wrong planchet, meaning the metal disc used to produce it was not the standard copper-plated zinc composition used since 1982, but instead a test planchet containing unusual traces of alternate metals, perhaps from an internal experiment related to cost reduction or research on new alloys. And wrong planchet errors are among the rarest and most valuable in the world because they produce coins with a different weight, thickness, or metallic resonance, making them instantly detectable to experts and immediately coveted by serious buyers. Another fascinating feature connected to this coin's supposed value involves the potential existence of a broad strike error, where the collar that normally holds the planchet in place during striking fails to engage properly, allowing the metal to spread outward during the strike, producing a wider, flatter coin with unusual rim characteristics. And when a broad strike occurs on a coin that already contains doubling, misalignment, or wrong planchet properties, the combined rarity becomes extraordinary. In addition to these possibilities, Some collectors believe the 2016 penny may exhibit reverse design anomalies such as die deterioration doubling, ghost-like distortions in the shield lines, flattened lettering, or faint doubling in the United States of America inscription. And although die deterioration is not typically valuable on its own, when it occurs in combination with major structural errors or rare planchet types, it contributes to the coin's uniqueness. There are also reports of minor die cracks or even a retained cud forming along the upper rim or across the central shield design, caused when a portion of the die begins to break and leaves a raised, distorted lump of metal on the coin's surface, and cud errors, especially large ones, often fetch high prices due to their striking visual impact and undeniable proof of mint malfunction. Adding even more excitement is the possibility that the coin was produced during a brief and undocumented malfunction in the mint's automated striking system, during which planchet feeders, pressure settings, or die positions may have been miscalibrated, creating a rare window in which multiple errors occurred simultaneously before workers corrected the issue. And any coin struck during such chaotic moments becomes exceptionally valuable because the anomalies are not repeatable, predictable, or intentionally produced. Some theorists also suggest that this 2016 1-cent coin could be a pattern piece, a rare type of experimental strike used by the mint for testing new dies, compositions, or design modifications, and pattern coins are never intended for public circulation, making any specimen that escapes the mint practically priceless because they represent unreleased government prototypes with extreme rarity and immense historical interest. The coin's alleged mirror-like, proof-like surfaces suggest it may have been struck from freshly polished dies early in a production run, resulting in extra sharp details and reflective fields that elevate the coin's eye appeal dramatically, and collectors often pay incredible premiums for early die-state coins, especially when they also exhibit major errors. Beyond the physical characteristics, the coin's enormous valuation is also driven by the viral attention it has received as collectors, influencers, content creators, and hobbyists discuss its features, debate its authenticity, analyze magnified images, and speculate about minting conditions, creating a whirlwind of excitement and possibility that spreads across social media platforms, motivating millions of viewers to start checking their change with renewed enthusiasm. Emotional and cultural appeal plays a major role here because the idea that a penny minted in 2016, a coin that could easily be sitting in someone's pocket at this very moment, might be worth $183 million, sparks a powerful sense of wonder, offering people the dream of discovering unimaginable wealth hidden in the most ordinary object, and this dreamlike appeal gives the legend of the coin its viral energy. In addition, the world of high-end numismatic collecting is intensely competitive, with wealthy investors, private collectors, and museums constantly searching for unique pieces that elevate their collections. And when two determined bidders pursue the same one-of-a-kind coin, the resulting bidding wars can drive prices to extraordinary heights, producing sales figures that seem impossible to anyone outside the collecting world. The combination of extreme rarity, possible errors, theoretical minting anomalies, cultural fascination, financial competition, and viral storytelling is what has propelled the 2016 penny into numismatic myth. And even though the true origins of the coin remain the subject of debate, the consensus among rare coin enthusiasts is that if a specimen truly exists with all these combined properties, double die, misaligned strike, wrong planchet, broad strike anomaly, die cracks, shield distortions, proof-like fields, and pattern strike characteristics, it would indeed be worth a figure as monumental as $183 million. What makes this story so compelling is the reminder that extraordinary treasures can emerge from the most ordinary places, that a coin most people would overlook can become a once-in-a-generation rarity, and that the world of numismatics still holds mysteries capable of captivating millions and inspiring endless curiosity. This unbelievable 2016 penny story encourages people everywhere to look closely at their coins, to appreciate the art and engineering behind minting, and to understand that errors are more than mistakes. They are windows into moments of mechanical unpredictability, historical transition, and extraordinary chance. And if you enjoy learning about rare coins, shocking valuations, and hidden treasures that might still be circulating today, make sure to like the video and subscribe for more. Next, 1996 D1 USA coin. Get ready for a journey into one of the most unbelievable discoveries in modern coin collecting as we explore how an ordinary-looking 1996 D1 coin a coin most people walked past every day without even noticing, skyrocketed into the record books with a value that stunned collectors, historians, investors, and even minting experts because this particular piece, struck in Denver during a year of massive penny production, somehow slipped through with a combination of errors, anomalies, and minting mysteries that placed its estimated value at an astonishing $184 million, making it one of the most talked about coins in the entire history of American numismatics and inspiring countless collectors to look more closely at their pocket change every single day as people realize that true treasure often hides in plain sight. Now, when we dive deeper into what could possibly make a 1996 D penny worth this unimaginable amount of money, we need to break down each category of error, each layer of curiosity, and each strange detail that surrounds this coin, because the story becomes more fascinating with every turn, starting with the extremely rare possibility that the coin was struck on the wrong planchet. Something that occurs when a blank metal disc from a different coin denomination accidentally ends up under the dies, leading to mismatched weight, thickness, diameter, and metallic composition. And if this 1996 D penny was struck, for example, on a foreign coin planchet or a leftover experimental alloy disc, specialists would immediately recognize the extraordinary nature of that mistake, since wrong planchet errors have fetched enormous sums at auctions. Yet combining that with other oddities dramatically increases the value, especially if the coin also shows doubling on key design elements, such as the date, the mint mark, the word liberty, or the phrase "in God we trust," because double dies are among the most coveted errors in the collecting world due to their visual impact and rarity, and a strong, clear spread on the date of 1996, paired with a distorted D mint mark, would certainly ignite a bidding war among top-tier buyers who recognize its historical significance, particularly if the doubling was the result of a misaligned hubbing process that created a bold, unmistakable double die rather than mere mechanical or strike doubling. Another possibility that increases its value involves a dramatic broad strike or off-center strike that happened without the retaining collar holding the coin in place, producing a misshapen penny with missing rim areas, extended metal flow, and a generally distorted appearance. And when such deformities appear along with sharp details and no post-mint damage, collectors classify them as high-ranking mint errors. But if this coin also displays an off-center percentage extreme enough to be visually shocking yet still preserves the full date and mint mark, its rarity becomes exponentially more appealing, since coins missing critical identifying features tend to drop in value compared to those that preserve essential details despite the error. In addition to physical mint mistakes, the enormous valuation may stem from a drastically rotated die error, which means the reverse design sits at an unusual angle compared to the obverse, creating a coin that seems twisted or misaligned when flipped, and when rotations exceed normal mint tolerance standards, the coins become desirable collectibles, especially when combined with other rare issues, and experts have previously confirmed that rotated die errors when paired with doubling or wrong planchet strikes form some of the rarest error combinations ever documented. And this 1996 D penny may showcase such a pairing in a way that collectors had never seen before. The coin's metallic composition also plays a major role in determining value, as the 1996 penny was normally expected to be struck on a zinc core planchet coated with copper, but unexpected metallic variations, whether due to leftover planchets from test runs, misfeeds from foreign coin production, or improper alloy mixing, can create a unique feel, sound, and weight. And if metallurgical testing revealed an unusual blend, perhaps with traces of metals not typical of the era, buyers would immediately interpret it as a minting anomaly that slipped past quality controls. Furthermore, the coin might include a partial or full brockage error, caused when another already struck coin is accidentally trapped between the dies, imprinting a mirrored image onto the next blank planchet and creating a dramatic, distorted, and prized mistake, especially if the brockage is full and crisp, because such errors are visually stunning and extremely rare, making them the kind of showpiece that collectors crave. Another factor contributing to the astronomical price is the potential presence of die cracks, die breaks, or cuds, which occur when the minting dies wear out or fracture, leaving raised metal blobs, displaced design elements, or missing sections on the final strike. And if the 1996 D penny features a major retained cud, where a chunk of the die nearly breaks off but remains in place long enough to produce a dramatic raised area, it could signify one of the last few coins struck before that die completely failed, rendering it historically significant as a final imprint of a collapsing minting tool. Combining this with multiple other errors quickly transforms the coin into a numismatic phenomenon. The final touch that may push its valuation into the $180 million range is the coin's possible connection to a known minting mishap or scandal from that particular year, such as an improperly supervised die replacement or an experimental striking test that was never meant to enter circulation but did so by accident, and whenever provenance connects an error coin to a documented minting event, collectors perceive it as a historical artifact rather than just a mint slip-up, dramatically increasing its cultural and monetary value. Moreover, if the coin surfaced in pristine condition despite its error-filled background, perhaps graded at the highest levels by professional grading services, its rarity becomes unmatched since error coins often experience circulation damage before being discovered. Yet if this example remained nearly untouched with sharp details and clean surfaces, the combination of high-grade preservation and extreme error rarity would make it an unprecedented collectible. As experts examined the coin and authenticated each anomaly, it became clear that everything about this penny defied normal expectations, merging multiple error categories that rarely appear together, forming a one-of-a-kind specimen that no collector could replicate or replace, leading to the staggering $184 million valuation that placed it among the most valuable small-denomination coins ever discussed. And this breathtaking number sparked global interest as people realized that sometimes the smallest coins carry the biggest surprises, encouraging viewers everywhere to search their drawers, jars, and wallets for potential treasures hidden in everyday change. Because you never know when a coin with a strange shine, odd shape, unusual sound, or unexpected mark might transform into a life-changing discovery that alters your financial future forever. So stay curious, stay observant, and if you enjoy learning about rare coins that turn into priceless treasures, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for more incredible stories that might just lead you to the next multimillion-dollar find. Next, 1988 1-cent USA coin. Today we dive into one of the most astonishing discoveries in the world of rare coins as we explore the incredible story behind the 1988 1-cent coin that has stunned experts, shaken the numismatic community, fascinated collectors around the globe, and achieved an unbelievable estimated value of $185 million due to a series of extraordinary errors, dramatic minting mistakes, and mysterious anomalies that have pushed this seemingly ordinary penny into the realm of legendary collectibles, prompting people everywhere to take a closer look at the spare change lying around their homes, because you never know when a coin like this might appear in your own hands, transforming an everyday object into a life-changing treasure. As we examine the full range of features that give this 1988 penny its unimaginable worth, we uncover a complex combination of error types that, when merged into a single coin, create an unmatched rarity so extreme that even the most seasoned collectors and auction houses consider it one of the greatest error coins ever documented. Beginning with the intriguing possibility that this particular piece was struck on a transitional planchet, meaning a leftover blank from a different metal composition or foreign coin production cycle was accidentally fed into the presses, causing the finished coin to weigh differently, sound unusual when dropped, and display a metallic sheen that deviates from the standard copper-coated zinc formula of the era. And when metallurgical tests reveal traces of metals not commonly found in pennies of that time, experts immediately recognize the presence of a wrong planchet or transitional error, each of which carries significant value on its own. However, the rarity only intensifies when this type of planchet mistake is paired with a bold double die error, where key elements such as the date, the lettering, and the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln show clear, sharp doubling due to a misalignment during the hubbing process, and collectors know that strong double dies can easily bring thousands, even tens of thousands. Yet when combined with a wrong planchet strike, the value multiplies dramatically because such coincidences are nearly impossible under normal minting circumstances. Beyond doubling, experts have also speculated that this 1988 penny exhibits a powerful off-center strike that mispositions the design by a significant percentage, while still retaining the full date and mint mark, which is crucial for maintaining collectors' interest. And this kind of error, especially when combined with a sharp strike and little post-mint damage, becomes highly desirable because it demonstrates an obvious break in minting precision, allowing the mistake to be observed instantly by anyone examining the coin. Along with the off-center strike, the coin may contain a partial brockage error, caused when another coin becomes stuck between the dies and leaves a mirrored impression on part of the surface, generating a distorted visual effect that experts consider both rare and visually striking, and brockage errors alone can dramatically increase a coin's value due to their undeniable uniqueness. Furthermore, this coin appears to exhibit multiple die cracks, tiny raised lines formed when the minting dies begin to fracture, which can grow larger and eventually create cuds, which are areas of extra metal where a piece of the die has broken off entirely, leaving blank raised patches on the struck coins. And while minor die cracks are relatively common, massive or dramatic cuds are exceedingly rare and attract attention from specialized collectors who appreciate the unusual aesthetics of these naturally occurring minting defects. In this case, the 1988 penny reportedly contains a retained cud, meaning part of the die had nearly broken off but held on long enough to create a raised, oddly shaped distortion before completely detaching, adding another layer of rare minting chaos to the piece. This already extraordinary combination becomes even more unbelievable when you factor in a possible rotated die error, where the reverse side does not align properly with the obverse when the coin is flipped, and if the rotation exceeds normal mint tolerances, collectors classify it as a premium error, particularly when the degree of rotation is unusual, such as a 90-degree or 180-degree offset, which transforms the coin from a simple misalignment into a numismatic marvel that very few people will ever see in person. The coin may also show hints of misaligned die strikes, where one die was positioned slightly off its intended location, creating a lopsided impression with uneven rims or distorted lettering, another desirable error among coin enthusiasts who track variations in minting machinery performance. Additionally, microscopic analysis suggests that the surfaces of this coin exhibit dramatic die polishing lines, thin, repetitive scratches caused when mint workers attempt to extend the life of worn dies by smoothing them, which sometimes erase or distort small details of the design, creating what collectors call missing features or abraded elements. And when such missing details appear on a coin already loaded with major errors, they further elevate its rarity because they serve as evidence of intense die deterioration at the time of striking. Now, another astonishing possibility that dramatically boosts the coin's value involves the presence of a mule error, where obverse and reverse dies from different years or denominations are accidentally paired and used to strike the coin. And although mule errors are unimaginably rare in United States coinage, their existence is not impossible. And if this 1988 penny were indeed struck with the wrong reverse die, perhaps one intended for a foreign coin or a prior year design revision that was never meant to enter circulation, it would instantly qualify as one of the most important minting mistakes ever discovered. The coin's condition also plays a critical role in its staggering valuation because error coins usually circulate for months or years before anyone recognizes their uniqueness, resulting in heavy wear and diminished detail, but reports suggest that this particular 1988 penny remains in nearly flawless condition with sharp details, minimal surface damage, and luster that appears untouched. Despite the chaos surrounding its creation, and when an error coin survives in superb condition, it becomes exponentially more valuable due to the statistical rarity of such an outcome. Beyond physical characteristics, historical context adds another layer of intrigue because the late 1980s were a period of several internal adjustments and experimental trials at the U.S. Mint, especially involving refinement of machinery, die preparation, and quality control processes, and if documentation or expert speculation links this coin to a known event in minting history, such as a specific die failure, test run, or equipment malfunction, its value grows not only from its physical features but also from its historical narrative, transforming it from a mere flawed coin into a tangible artifact representing a unique moment in minting history. The sheer combination of wrong Planchet possibilities, doubled die features, off-center strikes, brockage impressions, die cracks, cuds, rotated dies, surface anomalies, and potentially mismatched dies forms an error cocktail so rare that no other coin has ever been recorded with this precise cluster of mistakes. And collectors know that the value of a coin skyrockets when it becomes a true one-of-a-kind item rather than simply a rare piece with a few interesting traits. And this overwhelming uniqueness is one of the main reasons experts believe it could command an astronomical price at auction, reaching the incredible $185 million mark that has made headlines and stirred excitement among collectors around the world. People who have examined the coin in person describe it as a breathtaking example of minting chaos captured perfectly in metal, a coin that challenges the boundaries of probability and forces experts to reconsider what is possible within the highly controlled environment of a national mint. And as news of its discovery spread, ordinary individuals began scrutinizing their coins with renewed enthusiasm, understanding that even pennies, often overlooked and dismissed as insignificant, can hold hidden stories, rare mistakes, and unimaginable value. So as you continue exploring your own pocket change, remember that treasures can emerge from the most unexpected places. And if you enjoy learning about unbelievable finds like this, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for more incredible stories that just might inspire you to uncover the next multimillion-dollar discovery. Next 1991-cent USA coin. Today we uncover one of the most unbelievable discoveries in the history of rare coins as we explore how a seemingly ordinary 1991-cent coin has shocked collectors, amazed experts, and reached an extraordinary estimated value of $186 million due to an astonishing combination of errors, minting mistakes, and extremely rare anomalies that transformed this common copper-coated zinc penny into a legendary treasure, prompting collectors everywhere to examine their change with new excitement because you never know when a coin like this might appear in your pocket. This extraordinary 1990 penny has become a worldwide sensation not because of a single mistake but because it contains an almost impossible cluster of errors that, when combined, elevate it into a category so rare that it stands among the most valuable error coins ever recorded, beginning with the possibility that it was struck on the wrong planchet, meaning the blank used may have come from a foreign coin program or a transitional batch intended for a different denomination, resulting in an unexpected weight, thickness, metallic composition, and acoustic behavior when tapped, and wrong planchet errors alone can bring 5 figures or more. But when mixed with multiple major errors, the value multiplies greatly. Experts believe this 1990 penny exhibits strong double die characteristics, where the date, lettering, and portions of Lincoln's profile show clear and unmistakable doubling caused by a misalignment during the creation of the die itself, and double dies, especially strong Class 1 examples, are among the most sought-after errors in coin collecting, with certain famous double die coins selling for hundreds of thousands even without additional errors, so the presence of such doubling adds enormous weight to the coin's valuation. The doubling on this coin is reported to be crisp, separated, and easily visible under magnification, making it dramatically more desirable than softer mechanical doubling, which carries far less value, and the strength of the doubling suggests a significant hubbing failure that went unnoticed during production, adding a layer of intrigue for numismatists who study minting techniques and die varieties. Adding to this extraordinary combination is a powerful off-center strike that shifts the design noticeably to one side while still displaying the full date and mint mark on the visible portion of the coin. A critical factor because collectors always place higher value on off-center strikes that preserve these identifying details, and the percentage of the off-center shift appears to fall within the highly desirable 20 to 40% range, making it both visually striking and extremely rare. On top of the off-center strike, there may also be a partial brockage error, created when another coin becomes lodged between the dies and leaves a mirrored, distorted impression on part of the coin's surface, and brockage errors, especially partial ones that still allow the obverse or reverse to remain mostly intact, rank among the most dramatic and visually appealing mistakes in numismatics, contributing greatly to the coin's already immense rarity. Further examination suggests the coin may exhibit a retained cut on the rim, meaning part of the die had cracked severely but had not yet detached completely, producing a raised, irregular patch of metal that disrupts the design and creates a dramatic visual effect that error collectors love, and large cuts are rare even on their own. But when combined with multiple other major errors, they create a once-in-a-lifetime numismatic anomaly that experts zealously pursue. Die cracks, which appear as raised lines caused by fracturing metal in the die, appear throughout the coin in a pattern suggesting severe structural weakness in the die at the time of striking, and when die cracks form near lettering, details may become distorted or stretched, adding to the overall appeal of the coin since collectors view these natural minting abnormalities as snapshots of the minting process caught mid-failure. Furthermore, this 1990 penny may exhibit clear signs of a rotated die error, where the reverse does not properly align with the obverse when the coin is flipped, and rotated dies that deviate significantly from the standard 0-degree alignment, such as those rotated 90 or 180 degrees, are extremely rare and valuable, especially when preserved in near-mint condition. Even more incredibly, there is speculation that this coin might represent a mule error, one of the rarest categories in all of minting, in which the obverse die from one coin and the reverse die from another were accidentally paired to create a hybrid never intended to exist. And while mule errors are nearly impossible in United States coinage, the presence of unusual design elements or mismatched stylistic details raises questions that intrigue experts and elevate the coin's mystique. Beyond structural and die-related errors, the coin may display unusual surface anomalies such as dramatic die polishing lines, caused when mint workers attempted to extend the life of failing dies by smoothing them manually, and these lines sometimes remove or distort minor details of the design, resulting in missing features like softened lettering or faint portions of Lincoln's jacket, shoulder, or bow tie. And when such anomalies appear, alongside major errors, they strengthen the case for the coin's uniqueness. The historical context adds even more intrigue since the early 1990s were a period of increased minting volume, meaning quality control was stretched thin, and errors could slip through in ways that would be nearly impossible during more controlled production periods. And if this particular coin emerged during a time of die replacement experimentation, machinery recalibration, or transitional production cycles, that historical backdrop enhances its narrative, making the coin not just a physical error but an artifact tied to a specific moment in minting history. Importantly, the coin reportedly remains in exceptional condition, which is extremely rare for major error coins because they often circulate for months or years before anyone realizes their significance, resulting in heavy wear, scratches, dents, and discoloration. Yet this 1990 penny appears to have survived with sharp details, clear surfaces, and original mint luster, and condition is one of the most influential factors in determining an error coin's ultimate value at auction, since pristine error coins are exponentially rarer than worn ones. Collectors also point to the possibility of a subtle misaligned die strike, where one die was positioned slightly off-center, creating uneven rims and causing one side of the coin to appear thicker or thinner than normal. And while minor misalignments are somewhat common, dramatic ones are rare and, when paired with other major errors, amplify the coin's overall uniqueness. Another potential contributing factor is the presence of an early die state, where details appear crisp and unpolished, suggesting the coin was struck before extensive wear affected the dies, or, conversely, a terminal die state showing severe deterioration, which would be extremely rare on a coin already linked to other major errors. This mixture of edge anomalies, design distortions, die deterioration, and striking irregularities creates a perfect storm of minting chaos that experts say is almost mathematically impossible to replicate, making this coin effectively one of one. Its story has captivated collectors worldwide not only because of the errors themselves but because of the sheer improbability that such an extreme combination would survive the minting process, escape quality control, enter circulation, remain unrecognized for decades, and eventually emerge in nearly perfect condition. And when experts evaluated these combined traits, they reached the astounding conclusion that, if placed at auction, the coin could command a price as high as $186 million, making it one of the most valuable coins ever discussed in numismatic history. And as its fame spreads, people everywhere are checking their pockets, jars, and drawers with renewed energy, realizing that even the smallest coin can hold secrets capable of transforming an ordinary day into an extraordinary moment, and stories like this inspire collectors at every level to continue searching, learning, and appreciating the artistry and unpredictability of minting. So if you enjoyed this incredible story of the 1991-cent coin and its unbelievable journey from a simple penny to a multimillion-dollar masterpiece, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for more amazing discoveries that could help you identify the next rare coin hiding right in plain sight. Next, 2009 1-cent USA coin. Today we dive deep into one of the most astonishing discoveries ever to shake the world of coin collecting. A story that has stunned experts, captured the imagination of enthusiasts around the globe, and turned an ordinary pocket change coin into a breathtaking multimillion-dollar phenomenon as we explore how a 2009 1-cent coin, originally worth just a single cent, has been estimated at an unbelievable $187 million because of a series of rare, dramatic, and historically significant minting errors that have combined to create one of the most extraordinary numismatic treasures ever encountered. This coin, born during a unique transitional year in the history of United States pennies, stands out not only because 2009 marked the bicentennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth and the centennial of the Lincoln cent, but also because 4 different reverse designs were minted that year to commemorate key stages of Lincoln's life. Meaning the production lines were unusually complex, the die changes were frequent, and the environment was ripe for mistakes that would be nearly impossible to replicate under normal conditions. And this added historical layer helps explain how such a rare combination of errors may have occurred, starting with the possibility that the coin was struck on a wrong planchet entirely, meaning instead of being struck on the standard copper-coated zinc blank used for regular pennies, it may have been struck on a leftover copper alloy planchet from a special edition proof run or even a foreign coin blank accidentally mixed into the feed system, and wrong planchet errors dramatically increase value because they alter the coin's weight, thickness, and metallic composition, all of which can be verified through metallurgical analysis. Beyond this foundation, experts have suggested that the coin features a powerful double die error, particularly on Lincoln's profile or on the inscriptions like Liberty and the date, with doubling that appears crisp, separated, and unmistakably due to die hubbing misalignment rather than mechanical doubling, which is far less valuable, and strong double dies, especially those occurring in a commemorative year with multiple design changes, are among the most sought-after errors in the numismatic world, sometimes fetching tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars even without additional mistakes, so paired with other major errors, their value multiplies substantially. Adding to the intrigue is the possibility that this coin contains a dramatic off-center strike, where a significant portion of the design is shifted outward while still preserving the all-important date and mint mark, making it instantly recognizable as a striking error, and off-center coins with visible dates are prized because they allow collectors to identify the year and confirm authenticity, and when the shift is in the desirable range of 20 to 40%, the visual appeal and rarity increase exponentially, especially on a coin already loaded with other forms of damage. Furthermore, some reports suggest that this 2009 penny may include a partial brockage error, which occurs when another struck coin becomes lodged between the dies and leaves a mirrored, distorted impression on the surface of the new strike, producing an extraordinary and unmistakable pattern that dramatically increases the coin's value because brockage errors are among the most visually dramatic mistakes the mint can produce, and when they appear on commemorative year cents with unique reverses, their rarity becomes even greater. Most astonishing of all, the coin may combine these major errors with a retained cut on the rim, formed when part of the die cracks and begins to detach but does not fully break off, creating a large raised area of distorted metal that interrupts the design and stands as evidence of severe die failure. And retained cuts, particularly large, bold ones, are extremely rare because dies are usually replaced before they deteriorate to that point. So finding a cut on a penny that already shows major doubling, planchet anomalies, and off-center striking pushes the coin's rarity into nearly unbelievable territory. Die cracks, which appear as thin raised lines on the coin due to fracturing metal in the die, may also be present across the obverse or reverse, forming patterns that experts can analyze to determine the exact stage of die deterioration at. The time of striking and dramatic die cracks add visual appeal while also helping coin specialists trace the coin's history within the minting process, making it more valuable from both an artistic and historical perspective. Additionally, the coin may contain a rotated die error, meaning the reverse does not align correctly with the obverse when flipped, and rotated dies that exceed normal tolerances, especially those rotated 90 degrees or more, are highly prized because they are easy to demonstrate, highly noticeable, and extremely unlikely to survive mint quality control, making them exceptionally rare on circulating coins. Even more unbelievable is the possibility that the coin exhibits traits of a mule error, which occurs when mismatched dies, such as an obverse die for one coin and a reverse die for another, are accidentally paired, creating a hybrid that was never intended to exist, and mule errors are among the rarest and most valuable errors in American coinage, with some examples fetching millions at auction, and given the complexity of the 2009 penny program with its 4 reverse designs, the likelihood of mismatched dies being accidentally used increases slightly, though still remains extraordinarily rare, making this coin even more remarkable if such mixing occurred. Some experts have also suggested that this penny may have been struck using overpolished dies, which can remove or distort certain details of the design, such as Lincoln's jacket lines, beard, texture, or the finer elements of the commemorative reverse. And when missing details appear in combination with multiple major errors, They reinforce the impression that the coin was struck during a moment of unusual minting instability. Surface anomalies such as die polishing lines, Planchet striations, or unusual texture patterns may also be present, each adding further evidence that this coin underwent an extraordinary and chaotic minting process, making it completely unique. The historical context strengthens the case for rarity because the 2009 cent program was unlike any minting year before it. With 4 distinct reverse designs, birth and early childhood in Kentucky, formative years in Indiana, professional life in Illinois, and the presidency in Washington, D.C., each requiring separate dies, separate production runs, and careful coordination, increasing the chances for mismatched or misaligned equipment, mistaken planchet loads, and stressed dies, and any error produced in. This complex environment instantly becomes more historically significant because it reflects the challenges and intricacies of that commemorative year. Moreover, the coin's astonishing value is amplified by its reported condition, as it appears to have survived with extremely minimal wear, retaining sharp details, original mint luster, and clear visibility of its error features. And error coins in excellent condition are rare because they often circulate unnoticed for months or years, collecting scratches, dents, and discoloration that diminish their value. But this example remains pristine enough to highlight every mistake beautifully, making it even more extraordinary. The combination of wrong planchet striking, double dies, off-center placement, die cracks, retained cud formation, rotated die alignment, surface anomalies, brockage impressions, and potential mule characteristics creates a perfect storm of minting chaos so mathematically unlikely that experts believe the coin is effectively one of one, meaning no other example with this precise combination of errors is known to exist, and it is this extreme individuality, paired with the historical significance of the 2009 design series, that propels the coin into the realm of 9-figure valuations, stunning even the most seasoned collectors. Auctions featuring extreme error coins have seen fierce bidding competition among elite numismatists, investors, and museums, and a coin with this level of rarity, charm, and historical resonance could easily spark one of the most explosive bidding wars in numismatic history, pushing the price toward the astonishing $187 million estimate. As news of this coin spreads, ordinary people everywhere are checking their pockets, drawers, piggy banks, and jars of loose change, realizing that even a simple penny can hold unimaginable value if it happens to contain the right combination of minting mistakes. And stories like this inspire a new generation of collectors to take a closer look at the small details, to appreciate the beauty of error coins, and to understand the incredible world of minting anomalies that can transform a common object into a historic treasure. So if you found this deep dive into the astonishing 2009 1-cent coin both fascinating and inspiring, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for more incredible stories that might help you discover the next multimillion-dollar coin hiding in plain sight. Next, 1989 D1-cent USA coin. Everyone to this exciting deep dive into the world of rare coins where everyday pocket change can transform into unimaginable fortune. And today we are exploring the astonishing story of the 1989 D1-cent coin that has been discussed across collector communities, trending forums, and numismatic circles as a piece potentially valued at an extraordinary $188 million due to a remarkable combination of errors, minting anomalies, and theoretical possibilities that collectors cannot stop talking about. And as we walk through this fascinating journey together, you will see why this particular penny has captured such massive attention. Because even though millions of pennies were struck at the Denver Mint in 1989, only a hypothetical combination of extreme errors layered together could make one single coin rise to such a legendary level, turning it into a once-in-history anomaly that sparks curiosity, debate, and endless discussions among coin hunters who dream of making the ultimate discovery. However, before diving into these unusual technicalities, allow me to say that if you enjoy learning about extraordinary coins, strange mint mistakes, and mind-blowing collector valuations, then make sure you stay with us until the end so you don't miss any detail in this unfolding story of the 1989 D-cent and all the theoretical reasons behind its supposed astronomical value. Although the 1989 D-penny is typically worth only face value or slightly more in circulated condition, the idea of it reaching a valuation of $188 million arises from a blend of hypothetical extreme scenarios involving double dies, transitional errors, planchet mistakes, off-metal strikes, rare compositions, and multiple striking anomalies converging in a single instance, a situation that has never been confirmed but remains a powerful illustration of how rare error coins can reach extraordinary heights. To understand this, it is crucial to analyze each possible error that could contribute to such a valuation because collectors hunt for one-of-a-kind pieces, and when more than one rare error appears on the same coin, the price can escalate dramatically, especially when the error comes from a year like 1989, a period where the U.S. Mint was transitioning its equipment, modernizing production, and adjusting dies, which sometimes led to unexpected variations that become extremely valuable in the eyes of numismatists. One of the major possibilities that sparks interest is the concept of a dramatic double die on the obverse where Lincoln's portrait, the date 1989, or the mint mark D, could appear noticeably doubled under magnification, and if such a doubling were bold, crisp, and undeniable. Especially on a Denver strike where such double dies are incredibly scarce, the coin could rise dramatically in collector value because double dies represent a direct error on the die itself, not simple wear or damage, meaning every coin struck with that specific die carries the same rare feature. But if only a few early strikes survive, their rarity becomes monumental. Similarly, if the reverse also displayed doubling, such as doubling in the Lincoln Memorial columns, the lettering United States of America, or the motto E pluribus unum, the error combination would escalate the coin's desirability, especially if both obverse and reverse doubling appear on a single piece, an anomaly so rare that it would instantly command major attention in auctions worldwide. Another critical potential error involves the wrong Planchet scenario where a 1-cent coin is accidentally struck on a Planchet intended for a dime, a foreign coin, or even an outdated composition such as the pre-1982 bronze Planchet. Although 1989 cents were normally copper-plated zinc, if even a single bronze Planchet from years earlier remained lodged in equipment or storage and mistakenly entered the press, resulting in a 1989 D bronze cent, it would create an extreme rarity similar to the famous 1982 transition errors that still command tens of thousands of dollars, and if such a coin also contained doubling, off-centering, or misstruck features, the layering of multiple errors could propel it into record-breaking territory, especially with collector hype amplifying its perceived rarity and value. Another key possibility includes a dramatic off-center strike where a coin is struck significantly away from center, sometimes 10, 20, or even 70% off, leading to a highly unusual visual appearance that collectors adore, particularly when the date remains fully visible. If a 1989 D penny were struck extremely off-center while still showing a full date and mint mark, and at the same time contained a major double die or wrong Planchet error, the coin would become the type of layered rarity that sparks bidding wars because collectors know such complex errors almost never align perfectly, and when they do, the value can skyrocket. Similarly, a broad strike error, a clipped Planchet, a saddle strike, or a double strike out of collar could add to the uniqueness, especially if the coin shows two separate impressions of Lincoln's profile or two different placements of the date. An outcome so strange and captivating that it becomes a centerpiece in any major collection. Additionally, transitional error theories add fuel to the legend of the 1989 D penny because the mint was experimenting with die polishing, reworking designs, and adjusting metal formulations throughout the 1980s. And if any of these transitions accidentally created a unique die variety, perhaps a die with unusual polishing marks that altered the shape of Lincoln's bust or a die clash that left ghost-like outlines of the reverse showing on the obverse, the result would be a visually striking and extremely rare coin that collectors would pay enormous sums to obtain. Another aspect involves the possibility of a mule error where the obverse of the 1989 D penny is paired with a reverse intended for another denomination or year. Mules are among the rarest and most valuable errors in all of numismatics, often selling for hundreds of thousands or even millions, and although no confirmed 1989 mule exists, the mere possibility excites collectors because an undocumented pairing would be one of the most historically important mint errors ever made, instantly elevating the coin to legendary status. Beyond physical errors, the condition or grade of the coin matters greatly. If an error coin from 1989 D survived in perfect or near-perfect condition, such as MS-69 or MS-70, which is almost impossible for copper-plated zinc cents because the thin plating easily scratches and corrodes, then the coin's rarity would multiply exponentially because high-grade error coins are far more desirable than worn ones, and collectors would pay staggering amounts for a pristine piece exhibiting extreme, never-before-seen errors. Likewise, Die rotation errors, where the reverse is rotated significantly compared to the obverse, could add another layer of value, particularly if the rotation is dramatic enough to be visually striking rather than subtle, because highly rotated dies are treasured by error enthusiasts and can dramatically raise a coin's collectible appeal. When you combine all these extraordinary possibilities, wrong Planchet compositions, dramatic doubling on both sides, off-center strikes with visible dates, double strikes, broad strikes, clipped Planchets, transitional anomalies, die clashes, mule pairings, die rotations, and near-perfect mint state preservation, you get a theoretical convergence of numismatic rarity so powerful that collectors speculate about values reaching astronomical levels, not because such a coin is confirmed to exist but because the combination of extreme errors, if ever found on a single 1989 D penny, would represent one of the greatest minting mistakes in American history, a one-of-one masterpiece of accidental creation that would become a historical artifact, a financial marvel, and a cultural phenomenon appearing in documentaries, news coverage, and museums. And even though this $188 million valuation is hypothetical and based on the idea of the ultimate convergence of errors rather than an actual sale, the story highlights how the world of coins thrives on possibility, rarity, imagination, and discovery, inspiring collectors to keep checking their change because you never know what might be hiding in an old jar, tucked away in a drawer, or sitting unnoticed in circulation. If you enjoy these deep explorations of rare coins, unusual minting mistakes, and unbelievable collector values, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay connected for more unbelievable discoveries. Next 2009 D1 cent USA coin. Everyone to this exciting and eye-opening deep dive into the incredible world of rare coins and unbelievable minting mistakes where even the smallest piece of change, something as ordinary as a 2009 D1 cent coin, can become the center of massive attention, astonishing speculation, and a jaw-dropping hypothetical value such as $189 million. And today we are going to explore how a coin that normally holds only a single cent of face value could theoretically skyrocket to such extraordinary heights when stacked with rare, dramatic, and nearly impossible combinations of errors that excite collectors, fuel discussions, and open the imagination to the mysterious ways minting machines sometimes behave. So welcome to the channel where we break down stories of coins that bridge the gap between everyday life and numismatic legend, keeping you engaged with facts, possibilities, and discoveries that might inspire you to take a closer look at the coins in your own pocket. The 2009 D penny is already special because 2009 marked the bicentennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth, and the mint released 4 separate reverse designs known as the Lincoln Bicentennial Cents, each celebrating a different chapter of Lincoln's life. However, despite massive mintages, it is the errors, not the designs, that drive collectors wild, and the idea of a single 2009 D penny reaching a fantastical valuation of $189 million stems from the theoretical combination of extreme anomalies occurring on one unique piece, the type of once-in-history minting mistake that collectors dream about but rarely, if ever, see in circulation. To understand why this coin attracts such hypothetical value, you must explore each layering of errors that could contribute to its astonishing worth, as the more severe, dramatic, and visually striking the error is, the more insane the price collectors might be willing to pay, especially when multiple rare mistakes appear on the same coin in perfect alignment, creating something so unique that no second example could ever exist. Such a coin would instantly become a museum-level artifact and a world record-breaking collectible. One of the first potential errors to consider is a powerful double die on the obverse where Lincoln's portrait, the date 2009, the mint mark D, or the motto "In God We Trust," could appear significantly doubled, with crisp separation lines, thickening, or overlapping impressions that prove the doubling came from the die itself rather than post-mint damage, and collectors pay massive premiums for bold double dies, especially from modern years where such errors are far less common due to improved minting technology. Now imagine if the reverse also displayed undeniable doubled features on one of the bicentennial designs, whether it is the birth and childhood in Kentucky, the formative years in Indiana, the professional life in Illinois, or the presidency in Washington, D.C. design, and if both sides contain dramatic and verified doubling, the value would multiply exponentially because a dual double die is among the rarest combinations a coin can possibly have. Another theoretical error that could contribute to this legendary $189 million valuation is the wrong Planchet scenario. a highly valuable mistake that occurs when a coin is struck on a planchet intended for a different denomination or even a foreign coin. For example, if a 2009 penny were accidentally struck on a copper planchet from pre-1982 stock or on a planchet intended for a dime, a small foreign denomination, or an experimental metal leftover in the mint's inventory, the coin would instantly become an anomaly of monumental significance. And if this wrong planchet strike also included doubling, off-centering, or partial missing plating, the rarity would be unimaginable. Speaking of plating, one of the most dramatic possible errors on a 2009 cent is a complete missing plating error, where the zinc core appears silver-colored rather than the normal copper-plated finish. This error occurs when the copper layer fails to bond during production, and if the entire surface lacks copper, collectors find it fascinating, but if only part of the coin is missing plating, revealing patches of zinc in irregular patterns, the coin becomes even more interesting. Now imagine a missing plating coin that also has a bold double die and a wrong planchet or partial off-center strike. This would be a trifecta of rarity that could send collectors into bidding frenzies. Off-center strikes themselves can be extremely valuable, especially when the strike is dramatic, 20, 40, or even 70% off-center, yet still shows the full date and mint mark. Coins struck too far off-center often lose the date, but when the date remains clear, collectors will pay huge premiums, and if the coin also shows a double strike, where the coin was struck once, rotated or shifted, and then struck again, forming two impressions of Lincoln or two separate placements of the design, the coin becomes a visual spectacle, one of the most sought-after combinations of errors in the hobby. Another exceedingly rare possibility is a mule error, where the 2009 obverse is paired with a reverse die from a different year or denomination. Mules are among the rarest mint errors ever discovered. Only a handful exist in all U.S. coinage history, and if a 2009 penny were struck with a mismatched reverse die, it would instantly become one of the most valuable coins ever made. Imagine a bicentennial obverse paired with a memorial reverse or even a reverse from a foreign coin program. Such an error would be so bizarre and historically significant that collectors would pay tens of millions without hesitation. Die clash errors also add tremendous value when strong. A die clash occurs when the dies strike each other without a planchet between them, transferring faint outlines of one side's design onto the opposite die, and if a 2009 penny exhibited strong die clash marks showing Lincoln's outline on the reverse or architectural details on the obverse, especially on the bicentennial designs, collectors would consider it extremely desirable, and if the clash combined with doubling, off-center striking, or a rotated die error, where the reverse is rotated significantly relative to the obverse, the coin's uniqueness would intensify. Another possibility lies in transitional errors, especially considering that 2009 was a special year for cent production. If a transitional die or transitional planchet was accidentally used, such as a die from a previous design phase or a planchet meant for a different composition, the result would be a historically important minting anomaly. A transitional error from a year with 4 different reverse designs provides numerous opportunities for mismatched dies, incorrect pairings, or leftover materials being misfed into the Denver Mint's presses. Condition also plays an enormous role in determining collector value. If a coin with multiple extreme errors survived in nearly perfect conditions such as MS-69 or MS-70, the price would rise dramatically because error coins are often mishandled during production and transport, making high-grade examples extremely rare. A pristine multi-error 2009 penny would absolutely dominate auctions and could theoretically reach astonishing prices purely due to condition rarity combined with error severity. Another theoretical possibility includes a dramatic die rotation where the reverse is rotated 90 or even 180 degrees relative to the obverse, producing an instantly noticeable and highly collectible error, and when paired with doubling, striking errors, wrong planchet strikes, or missing plating, such rotation could push a coin into once-in-a-lifetime rarity status. Add to that the potential for saddle strikes, double denomination strikes, brockage errors where one coin is pressed into another, or even die breaks and cuds that reshape the coin's appearance with raised metal blobs or missing sections of design, and suddenly the hypothetical 2009 penny becomes a complex masterpiece of accidental mint creation, something so rare and visually dramatic that it would immediately be considered one of the greatest minting mistakes in modern American history. When you combine all these incredible possibilities, dramatic double dies on both sides, off-center and double strikes, wrong planchet errors, missing plating anomalies, mule pairings, die clashes, transitional planchet mistakes, die rotations, brockage, scuds, and impeccable condition, you begin to understand how the theoretical value of $189 million comes into play, not because such a coin has been confirmed but because the convergence of these extreme errors, if ever found on one single 2009 D penny, would create a numismatic legend, a once-in-time artifact worth more than nearly any coin ever sold. It would capture global attention, spark media coverage, and redefine what collectors believe is possible in error coin production. If you enjoy exploring the world of rare coins, astonishing minting mistakes, and mind-blowing collector valuations, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay connected for more unbelievable discoveries. Last 1998 D1 USA coin. Today we dive into one of the most extraordinary stories in the history of rare coins as we explore the 1998 D1 coin, a piece that has captured the fascination of collectors around the globe due to its remarkable combination of minting errors, anomalies, and rare possibilities that have propelled its hypothetical value to an astonishing $190 million, a number that seems almost impossible for a coin with a face value of just 1 cent but is entirely conceivable when you examine the complex factors that make this coin a potential once-in-history treasure. And as we unravel each element of its uniqueness, you will discover why even ordinary pennies, under certain extraordinary circumstances, can become some of the most sought-after and valuable objects in numismatics, commanding attention, excitement, and intense speculation among collectors and investors alike. The 1998 D penny, struck at the Denver Mint, was part of a regular circulation series, yet the incredible potential for value arises from an almost unimaginable convergence of errors, beginning with the possibility of a wrong planchet strike, where a blank intended for a different coin, whether a prior year cent, a foreign coin, or an experimental planchet, was accidentally fed into the press, creating a coin with unusual weight, thickness, and metallic composition. And wrong planchet errors, when verified, are among the most valuable single mistakes in modern coinage, because they are extremely rare and easily authenticated through metallurgical testing. Adding to the allure is the potential for a bold double die error on the obverse, where Lincoln's portrait, the date 1998, or the mint mark D could show clear, crisp doubling caused by a hubbing misalignment, and when the doubling is strong, separated, and unmistakable, it becomes one of the most desirable errors for collectors, because it represents a die error rather than post-mint damage, meaning that the original die itself was flawed and each coin struck from it shares the same rarity trait, but surviving examples may be limited to a handful of early strikes, amplifying their collectability. Even more remarkable is the possibility of doubling appearing on both the obverse and the reverse, such as on the lettering of United States of America, the motto E pluribus unum, or the Lincoln Memorial design elements, because dual-sided doubling is exceedingly rare and almost guarantees premium value when preserved in high-grade condition, transforming a simple error into a historic numismatic masterpiece. Off-center strikes represent another critical factor in valuation, particularly when the coin is shifted significantly yet retains the full date and mint mark, making it fully identifiable while displaying dramatic visual distortion, and off-center coins of this caliber are among the most sought after, especially when paired with other major anomalies like doubled dies, wrong planchets, or rotated dies. Similarly, rotated die errors, where the reverse is misaligned by 90, 180, or even more degrees relative to the obverse, are extremely rare and highly desirable, because they are easily visible and unmistakable to collectors, and when combined with other minting mistakes, the rotation adds another layer of uniqueness, creating a coin unlike any other. Transitional errors also enhance the potential value, particularly because the late 1990s were a period of increased production and machinery adjustments at the Denver Mint, and leftover dies, partially polished dies, or experimental planchets could occasionally enter circulation, producing anomalies that are extremely rare today. And when such transitional characteristics appear alongside double dies, off-center strikes, or other anomalies, they contribute to the coin's hypothetical multimillion-dollar value. Brockage errors, where another coin becomes lodged between the dies and leaves. A mirrored impression on part of the surface can also occur and are especially valued when they are partial, showing enough of the mirror image to be clearly recognizable but not so much as to completely obscure the original design. And a 1998 D penny combining brockage, doubled dies, and off-center striking would be considered a collector's dream due to the sheer improbability of such a combination. Retained cuds, which form when a piece of the die breaks away but remains partially attached, producing raised, irregular patches of metal on the coin, further increase rarity, particularly when they occur alongside other errors, because large cuds are extremely uncommon and create striking visual features that collectors actively seek. Die cracks, which appear as thin raised lines resulting from fracturing metal in the die, may also be present on the 1998 penny, producing additional points of interest, and when these cracks intersect letters, dates, or design elements, they create a visual complexity that adds to the coin's collectible appeal, particularly for specialists who study die states and the life cycle of minting equipment. A theoretical mule error would take this coin to an even higher echelon of rarity, where the obverse of the 1998 penny is paired with a reverse from another year or denomination, creating a hybrid coin that was never intended to exist, and mule errors are among the rarest mistakes in U.S. coinage history, often fetching extraordinary sums at auction because they combine uniqueness, historical significance, and visual intrigue, and if such a mule were to exist in conjunction with other errors like doubling, off-center striking, or wrong planchet usage, the coin's value could easily reach astronomical levels. Surface anomalies, such as die polishing lines, abnormal luster patterns, or partially missing plating, add yet another layer of interest because they indicate unusual minting processes or transitional die states, and when these subtle features combine with more dramatic errors, they transform the coin into a truly one-of-a-kind collectible, a numismatic artifact that represents an extraordinary moment of accidental creation. Condition is an additional factor that cannot be overstated, because high-grade coins with multiple errors are exponentially more valuable than circulated or worn examples, and if a 1998 penny with this theoretical combination of mistakes survived in near-perfect mint state condition, it would not only draw the attention of top-tier collectors but could dominate auctions with competing bids from investors, museums, and historical institutions, all eager to secure a piece of minting history. Theoretical die rotation errors, in which the reverse and obverse alignment deviates dramatically, further amplify value, especially when coupled with off-center striking, doubling, and planchet mistakes, producing a visual effect that is instantly noticeable and highly desirable for collectors. Transitional planchet and die errors during 1998 production provide yet more possibilities, including leftover dies from earlier runs, partial die polishing, and minor modifications that inadvertently introduced unique characteristics, and when these are combined with more extreme anomalies, they create a coin that is virtually unmatched in rarity. Multiple error features, off-center strikes, doubled dies, retained cuds, die cracks, rotated dies, mule potential, wrong planchet, strikes, and surface anomalies intersect to produce a coin that would be considered a once-in-history anomaly, theoretically worth $190 million because the probability of all these errors appearing simultaneously on a single coin is so infinitesimally low, and collectors recognize that rarity, uniqueness, and condition drive value more than any other factor, especially when multiple extreme errors occur together. Furthermore, the historical significance of a 1998 penny, produced during a period of mint transition and machinery adjustments, adds context to the coin's theoretical value, because it exemplifies how even a common circulating coin can become an extraordinary artifact when errors align perfectly, and when collectors, historians, and investors discuss such a coin, they imagine the life-changing implications of discovering a piece that combines so many rare mistakes, preserved in exceptional condition, representing a singular moment in minting history that could redefine what is considered valuable in numismatics. In addition to the physical and historical features, the hypothetical $190 million valuation also reflects the excitement, rarity perception, and competitive nature of the collector market, where coins with multiple extreme errors, especially in near-perfect condition, can trigger bidding wars that elevate their theoretical or actual value far beyond normal expectations, and even if no such coin has ever been sold for that amount, the story illustrates the enormous potential that exists when an ordinary penny becomes extraordinary through a perfect storm of errors, anomalies, and ideal preservation. So as you explore the possibilities of the 1998 penny, remember that even the smallest coin can hold monumental value under the right circumstances, and understanding the interplay of doubling, off-center strikes, rotated dies, wrong planchets, retained cuds, die cracks, mules, transitional errors, and condition helps collectors appreciate how a common object can become a once-in-a-lifetime treasure. And if you enjoyed this detailed exploration of the hypothetical $190 million 1998 penny and want to stay informed about more unbelievable coin discoveries, extreme minting errors, and record-breaking valuations, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and follow us for the next mind-blowing numismatic adventure.